Shuckalaka kapow. How's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it old school with Russell J.S. And I am your host, Russell J.S. You know, with it being the Halloween season, Halloween is only a week, just about a week away. I've been spending the last few days, few nights, watching scary movies, like everything related to Halloween and spooky and everything like that. And I started watching the Charlie Brown Christmas, not Charlie Brown Christmas, but the It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. How can you have Halloween without that? That's the number one Halloween special of holiday specials you have to watch, just like the Charlie Brown Christmas at Christmas time. But you know what? I also went ahead and I watched the original Addams Family movie where Raul Julia was Gomez and Morticia was, played by Angelica Houston, and Christopher Lloyd played Uncle Fester. And, along with that, I was watching other scary movies. Like, I'll go ahead and watch From Dusk Till Dawn. I'll go ahead and I'm also watching the original 8 Friday the 13th movies, which I'm going to, I'm going to watch all those. And the quirky comedy movies, Halloween, scary monster movies too. I mean, I'm also binging on the classic Universal monster movies like Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Dracula, The Mummy, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. But I want to take two spooktacular themed movies, two of my favorite movies that are based around my childhood. And the thing is, I've had a theory for the longest time that they're all similar, and they're both similar in their own way. Now, some of you will agree with me, some of you won't. You'll say, "Oh no, they're each their own movie," but just follow me on the video, okay? And remember, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to hit a like, subscribe, leave comments down in the box below, ring that bell for notifications, so you could keep track of all new videos coming. So what two movies am I talking about that I'm comparing, that I dare to compare? Well, not dare to compare. That's the old Dr. Old School, heyday. But the two movies with a paranormal theme, two great comedies, classic comedies of the 80s that I believe have similarities to one another, but they're from different movie companies. They come from different directors, different actors, and they're different stories. The two movies I want to put up together where I think they're similar: 1984's Ghostbusters, 1988's Beetlejuice. Now, here's where I say these two movies are very similar in their own way. I mean, I remember when I bought this on VHS 2 years after it came out. I bought it with my allowance money, and I already had this one, which I used birthday money to buy. Here's where I see it, okay? When you look at Ghostbusters, we all know the premise of both these movies. But now, if you don't know the premise, if you've never seen both these movies, feel free to shut this video off, stream these, buy these, get them out of the local public library, do what you got to do, and watch these, because there's going to be spoilers. Now, here's the thing. When I bought this on VHS years ago, when I was 11 years old, I remember as soon as I got in the car with my mom, I got it out of the bag. I was so excited. I had my own copy of Beetlejuice. And the thing is, also what these two movies have in common, they've spawned merchandise. They've spawned catchphrases like, "Who you gonna call? I ain't afraid no ghost. It's showtime." They've spawned, they really made their mark in American pop culture. And the thing about them is, this is where I say they're similar. I'm really gonna get into that. They had toy line, even a cartoon and video games to boot. Thing is, let's go ahead and dive into these bad Oscars, shall we? Okay, now Ghostbusters, directed by Ivan Reitman, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver, and Annie Potts. The story starts out as three scientists at Columbia University, paranormal studiers, paranormal investigators. They get fired from their jobs over at Columbia University, and they decide they're going to take out a loan, go into business for themselves because they witnessed a full specter at the public library, and they become Ghostbusters, just like your average pest control company. And they're gaining fame of all the ghosts they're busting. And then what they realize is they got to encounter a bigger being we all know as Gozer. You know, Louis Tully and Dana Barrett, played by Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver, respectively, become possessed by two of the demons, Zool and Vince Chlorophol. Because Vince is the key master, Zool's the gatekeeper. They have to get together to bring Gozer out to Earth. And of course, there's a big, spectacular showdown between the Ghostbusters and Zool. And then Zool disappears, reappears as a marshmallow man, and they have to do the one thing they're against, which is crossing the streams to obliterate Gozer. Now, here's my point. They start a business busting ghosts. Now, in Tim Burton's immortal, campy masterpiece of a classic, a New England couple living in a Victorian house that they're remodeling die in a car crash when they drown in a river, ready to haunt the house, but they are spooked and bugged by a living, breathing human family. So what do? They see the ad where they just got to say the B word 3 times. You know, say it once, say it twice, first time's a charm. Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, starring Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Winona Ryder, Jeffrey Jones, Catherine O'Hara, and Michael Keaton as the title character. Now, the couple who had just recently died, Adam and Barbara Maitland, as you know, they drowned when their car careened into the river off the bridge, and they're stuck in the house. They're now stuck at the house that when they were alive, they lived in, and it's getting inhabited by living people, and they don't want these people to live in the house. They want to keep the house to themselves. So they're trying to go through all kinds of quirks, and, you know, they're told by their caseworker in the afterlife, you know, don't call his name. Don't even say his name. You don't want his help. He's trouble. He's a trickster and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, Beetlejuice makes an after living. I guess we could say that, you know, like afterlife, you know, life, live, after live. So Beetlejuice, for an after living, he goes ahead and he's a bioexorcist. He's into business, into getting rid of the living, doing whatever he has to do to get rid of them. And hijinks just galore. He can't keep his hands off the girls, whether they're alive or dead. He just loves to pull pranks, very mean, evil pranks as well. But the thing is, you know, he's in the business of exterminating the living. Well, you know, hopefully he doesn't kill the living, but, you know, shoot, all the Maitlands want to do is shoo the Dietzes, you know, Charles, Delia, and Lydia out of their house. But then what happens is they kind of grow accustomed to the Dietzes because they strike up a friendship with their daughter, Lydia, played by Winona Ryder. And what happens is, you know, like the Dietzes, they want to get to know these ghosts. They can't see the ghosts. How is it that their daughter's able to see them and no one else, they can't, but they know that the ghosts are, you know, are real and in, you know, after live. So in many ways, I mean, I can remember reading the box on the back. Some critic, I think he was with Rolling Stone magazine, he said, "I've never seen anything like it since Ghostbusters." And in a way, I can understand what he's saying, because it is similar to Ghostbusters. The only difference is you got 3 living mortals in the real world that are exterminating and trapping ghosts. Well, meanwhile, in the afterlife, you got a trickster ghoul that cons people, cons the recently deceased into saying, "Hey, I could rid your home of the living. You just say my name 3 times, and I'll get rid of them." But the big difference is the Ghostbusters are legitimate in their movie. Beetlejuice is kind of like a con man, is what he is. Now, the one thing is, lately, both Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters, they've both spawned sequels. Ghostbusters has spawned 3 sequels and a remake. Beetlejuice has spawned 1 sequel so far. I've been thinking, because let me tell you something. I did have the Beetlejuice toy line, the action figure toy line. Some of the figures, when they came out, and they were from Kenner, just like the real Ghostbusters was. And let me tell you what, there were times, and I think Universal Studios Orlando, I think they must have somehow been spying on me when I was a kid and figured out an idea that I had, a concept, because I would have it where the Ghostbusters went after Beetlejuice all the time. So what I did, I used to do that, like crossover adventures. I did that with all my action figures. He-Man would have adventures with Michael Knight and Kit, and so on and so forth. And you know what? I used to do that with Beetlejuice and the Ghostbusters, and I actually would love to see Jason Reitman and Dan Aykroyd collaborate with Tim Burton. And Larry Wilson, the screenwriter. I would like to see those people collaborate together like a Ghostbusters meets Beetlejuice. That, to any kid of the 80s, that would be the ultimate dream right there. To see the Ghostbusters chasing after Beetlejuice and trapping him, bringing him back to New York at the firehouse and putting him in the containment unit. Come on, anybody, give thumbs up to me in the comments section if you would agree on that. But yeah, as I was saying, my theory is both these movies are similar in their own way. One is about a business that rids the afterlife of the real world. The other one is about an afterlife trickster who goes ahead and runs out the living from a haunted house. But, leave your comments. Give me your opinions. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Just don't be negative, Just leave comments down about it and tell me what you think. At any rate, this is your old pal, Russell J.S. I want to, remind you to keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it radical, keep it tubular, keep it real. Keep watching old school movies, keep watching old school television shows, keep playing old school video games, keep listening to old school music. And as always, get you enough of love, get you enough of peace, get you enough of tranquility, get you enough of less chaos, no chaos, get you enough of less drama, no drama. Godspeed. May the force be with you always. And happy Halloween.